Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, folks. Welcome back to another 2 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim. And as you can see, we are going to be getting back into some Pega learning today. Now, if you're watching me for the first time, um, these videos, I'm doing, I'm working towards getting my certification for the system architect. Um, you know, the you have a number of different certifications to go for. I'm working towards my Pega system architect. Um, but there's others um, certifications that you can go for if you want to, such as the business architect if you want. Now, um, I need to get my stage going here. All right. Now, so, I'm working towards the certification. I'm doing these videos so that, if I have any kind of questions, then I'm hoping that the Pega community can kind of help me out and helping me answer said questions. The videos are also there for you, the viewer, so that, if you want to, you can come directly to my stream and, just chat in the window, well, over here, and on my kind of screen that I have, I can see it, right here in the window, that I have. Obviously, you guys won't be seeing the chat window. I don't necessarily want the the chat to kind of be blocking any additional text. I don't not want like overlay of confusing text on there. So, um, but I'll see it obviously. But so you can ask questions there if you want to directly on stream, or you can go to my Pega videos directly and add a comment there, ask your questions, put down some answers, whatever, whatever you would like to do, okay? Um, and I will try to answer your questions if you have any. If I don't have an answer, then I will talk with a couple of people that I know in the Pega community to see if they have an answer that, they can give. Um, but I mean, this is kind of meant to help everybody involved. Okay. If you're looking at and watching these videos and the idea that they will help you in your journey in the certification, then hopefully they help you out. Or maybe I'm providing some form of insight into development in general that you might appreciate. Um, so if I'm doing any of that, feel free to let me know. I appreciate any kind of feedback that you guys might want to give me. Okay. So, um, a couple other things that I want to mention. First, this is not endorsed by Pega whatsoever. Okay. I'm doing this on my own, by my own volition. Um, you know, Pega, the Pega Academy is not like giving me any kind of like extra benefits or anything along those lines. They shouldn't necessarily need to. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this for my own benefit to get to the certification. Um, so yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't mind their support in helping me, answer questions and the like. But for the most part, it, um, you know, I'm not expecting them to um, give any additional support or anything along those lines. If they do, they do. They can, they can always contact me and we can talk. But again, probably not going to happen. So I'm not going to expect it. Last thing that I will mention is the fact that I'm not an authorized training partner, and this is not meant to be an instructor-led training. Okay. Um, I would expect, either one of these two, an instructor or an authorized training partner, to know everything that there is to know about Pega and will teach you everything that they have knowledge-wise to you so that you can easily pass the certification. The authorized training partner that I personally had, along with other peers and teammates that I had at the time, wasn't really that great. A lot of us had to do self-study. So I'm back to doing the self-study again. The instructor-led training is pretty expensive. I can't afford that right now. So there's nothing I can do about that. However, if you want to pay, what was it, like $5,000 for the system architect, then that is your decision. I wish you luck on it. Hopefully, the instructor, from the Pega Academy will give you everything that you need to know. They will answer all your questions, and they will easily give you what you need to pass the certification with ease. That's what I would hope, that you're getting your money's worth from there. But, you know, bear in mind that you should be asking as many questions as you can to these instructors, okay? Because when I took the certification, for 8.6, I got Pega 7 questions in there, Pega 7 keywords in the certification. And obviously, that's quite a number of versions old. So the fact that the authorized training partner didn't inform us of said keywords, didn't keep us in the loop on that, is, once again, one of the failings that I put on that authorized training partner. Um, so, um, so do yourself a favor. If you do the instructor-led training, ask those questions because the certification is not going to be that easy. Okay. Or at least I don't view it as super easy. Okay. Because they're going to have some questions in there that they'll provide you answers that might be like one word off or something along those lines. Um, so, for example, here let me go to the next topic that we're going to be dealing with. Um, uh, I'll I'll come back to this a little bit later. I want to discuss the difference between these two. But for example, um, say they directly capture objectives, right? DCO. Well, they may say, what does DCO stand for? Okay. And they may say directly capture objectives. They may say something like digitally capture objectives. They may say directly combine objectives, whatever. They might throw different combinations in there. And if you don't know the exact, um, if you don't know exactly, the potential of you getting it wrong could be high. And, well, while the certification, um, does allow for some wiggle room, um, sometimes those single questions can add up. Okay. So I think you can miss, what was it? Like 17 to 18 questions, and you might still pass, but you know, be careful with that. Okay, um, don't be what's the word I'm looking for? Um, cavalier. about going into the certification exam thinking that, you're going to sweep. Okay. Um, try to study as much as you can, try to learn as much as you can, try to retain everything, a lot of the information that is available, because there's a lot. And hopefully you'll be able to get through the questions properly. Okay. Now, um, right now, we finished off the first two missions of the system architect and the business architect. Okay, these two missions are the same, so there's no change in them. What remains is these two modules for business architect, and that's what I'm currently going over right now. Okay, so once we're done with these two modules and we finish off the last test for the business architect, then we'll move back to the system architect here. And those of you that are working towards your business architect certification, I wish you the best of luck on that. You're welcome to kind of continue looking through the system architect um, videos that I do, um, because at the end of the system architect um, mission, I'm gonna look into more like mock exams and so on and so forth. And I recommend that you do the same. I recommend going back through the questions that it's provided to you. And if you get a single question wrong, you go back through that section and restudy it, because you're going to need to do that you're going to need to know, what the correct answers are. You're going to need to know the concepts better, so you don't miss those questions on the certification. Okay. The questions provided in these missions are not going to be the same as you'll see on the certification. Okay, they're not going to be the same. This mission test, don't expect these 15 questions to be on the certification at all. Maybe, they might be similar in some regards, maybe, but don't expect word for word. Okay, don't just because it's held by a different company. Okay, so don't be careful with that. Okay, so we're going to go on to the directly capture objectives, or DCO, today. That's probably going to take up the majority of the time to go through it all. And then tomorrow we're going to be going through plan, validation, and the module quiz at the very end. And then most likely, the day after tomorrow, we're going to be doing the business architect uh, test at the very end. Okay, so let's get into it. See, there's a lot of information here, and a lot of additional, windows to open up. My God, there's a lot of additional windows to open up. Yikes! This does not feel like it's going to be a 15-minute journey here, but we'll see what we can do. So, directly capture objectives, or DCO, is the Pega Express way of collaborating from beginning to end. Directly capture objectives encourage an alignment between stakeholders and drives high quality engagement between business and IT. Directly capture objectives is a discipline, a way of working that forms a continuous cycle of collaboration, iteration, and validation. Business and IT people work together to model the final application step by step using the Pega platform. Directly capture objectives focuses on application design and build, achieving business outcomes, human-centered design, and iterations to realize business value faster. Pega Platform offers visual tools to capture outcomes, design screens, workflows, and feedback. Directly capture objectives is a discipline, a way to work, and a continuous cycle, driven by collaboration, iteration, and validation. Obviously, you'll probably want to kind of keep this in mind if you ever experience this question on the certification test. Okay, they may ask you, what is DCO driven by? So you may need to remember, the collaboration, iteration, and validation. So, don't, um, so you might need to memorize that. Okay, just remember. Okay, directly capture objectives is a discipline, a way to work, a continuous cycle, driven by collaboration, iteration, and validation. So, in some ways, I don't really like the idea that, they're basically repeating the image here. But at the same time, um, if the browser isn't showing the image whatsoever, like, it's completely, knocked out in some way or another, then, you know, that's fine. So, I mean, they could still, you know, um, if the image is knocked out, they could still have this as a information and the background kind of thing. Um, but whatever. We'll move on. The importance of directly capture objectives. Using the discipline of directly capture objectives encourages alignment between stakeholders for insight into the application. Directly capture objectives reduces misunderstandings and minimizes the risk of discovering business or functionality gaps too late. Directly capture objectives also increases the overall pace of delivery by involving all key players from the start. With directly capture objectives, you do not need to create time-consuming requirements documentation. Instead, you capture all the information necessary to build an application inside Pega Platform, from business outcomes to technical components, to implement the micro journey, and business requirements such as backlog, epics, and user stories. Now, technically, there shouldn't be any epics whatsoever. If there's an epic, you need to break it down. You need to break it down into, smaller user stories. At least that's what was told to us. But, there might be that point where, you're working on something and it turns into an epic. So obviously you need to change that, right? So by collaborating, ooh, had a little bit of a glitchiness on the internet side of things. Sorry about that. I just saw a quick yellow. Hopefully everybody's still watching this perfectly fine. I mean, if you're watching this on video, then I recorded, straight from, my capture through OBS. So there shouldn't necessarily be any problems there, but streaming is another matter altogether. So, um, by collaborating, iterating, and validating the following items, all team members understand what you are trying to achieve and how to achieve it. Business outcomes, case types, stages and steps, workflow, personas, channels, user interface designs, data integrations, epics, backlog, and user stories. Um, so yeah, it's good, if all team members understand. Um, if you have an entry level worker in there, make sure that they understand, and hopefully they don't lie to you, that they say, oh yeah, I understand, and they don't know a single word of what was actually being said. Don't do that. If you're an entry level and you are not understanding what they are saying, speak up, ask them. Don't be quiet along those lines, because if you're confused, you're just going to make things harder for yourself in the future. Okay, just don't do that. DCO application or directly capture objectives is used continuously within the Pega Express delivery approach. Although different activities occur during each phase, discover, prepare, build, and adopt, all events happen collaboratively, while iteration and validation occur throughout, as illustrated in the following image. So in the Discover, you have vision and business outcomes, and ideate and prototype. I don't know that word. Hold on a second. I've never seen that word before. Ideate. A form of idea, image, or conceive. Form ideas. Think. Okay. Ideate. Okay. Never seen that word before, so that was learn something new every day, right? Alright. Ideate and prototype. I'm not quite sure what the um, not quite sure what the additional information is here. Collaborate, iterate, and validate. That's the only thing that I can think of on that one. Um, did they really? Did they go over that at all? Well, they kind of did. Collaborate, iterate, and validate. So, but they need a better image. Um, right. Discover, design thinking, and fantastic experience. Prepare is ideate and prototype, and directly capture objectives sessions. Build, directly capture objective sessions. Refinement, playback, and show and tell. And then adopt, you have some more directly capture objective sessions, product enhancement, knowledge transfer, and identify next minimum lovable product. Here are the different directly capture objective events that happen collaboratively during each phase. Discover, help identify the vision and business outcomes, and supporting ideation and prototyping. Prepare, supporting ideation and prototyping, executing the directly capture objective sessions. Build, executing the directly capture objective sessions, continuously refining the backlog, and supporting playbacks and show and tells. And then, of course, adopt, executing the directly capture objective sessions, product enhancement, knowledge transfer for business readiness, and identification of next minimal level product. So directly capture objectives during prepare. At the start of prepare, directly capture objectives helps validate the structure and design of the microjourneys that make up your minimal lovable product. Use directly capture objectives to confirm and convert the three pillars with Pega Express: microjourneys and cases, personas and channels, data and integrations. Now, this is a good way to kind of keep on referencing the three pillars. I appreciate this usage here. Okay, they're reaffirming the three pillars. Okay, I like that. Nice job. You know, um, the it's it's a simple statement. Obviously, it doesn't take up much, but it kind of reinforces your three pillars. Okay, microjourneys, personas, data. Okay, so um, think of it like the um, when you're creating a case type, right? You have the stage. Right below that is the personas, and right below that is the data. So those are the three pillars. Okay. So if you need a visual representation of the three pillars in your mind, think of that of the case type. You know, microjourneys and cases, personas and channels, and then data and integrations. So, okay. Now, if they did something like, if they if they did something like, changed up the wording here, like they use data and some other word in there, then that would probably cause you some potential problems on certification. So, you know, remember what all the three pillars consists of, okay? So, um, if they did something like dinosaurs and integrations, then, well, we should obviously know that that's an incorrect um, description. But still, it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of need to know, um, what, you know, if you see data in integrations, that's one of the pillars. Okay, you need to know. If you don't, certification might be just slightly harder, or you might miss a question, and those missed questions stack up. So be careful. Center your first directly capture objectives sessions on creating draft case types in Pega. Definition of case types include setting out the primary and alternate stages for each microjourney within the scope of your minimal level product. Follow up directly capture objective sessions. Follow up directly objective. Follow up directly capture objective sessions. Explore each stage at a high level to determine the primary steps, business rules, and data requirements associated with the microjourney. That's a weird beginning there for the sentence, but whatever. During the initial directly capture objective sessions and prepare, you cover topics such as user access and high-level security requirements. Once your directly capture objective sessions are complete, you have a high-level draft summary at the end-to-end microjourney to share with the business team. The business team validates whether expected business outcomes are achievable. The purpose of directly capture objective session during prepare is not to build out the minimal level product. Instead, it is used to determine the functional boundaries of the minimal level product scope by confirming your team's assumptions and the high level model. To conduct the business overview meeting during prepare, you play back the case type and Pega platform. During the session, business stakeholders are asked to consider all related scenarios that must be accounted for in the end-to-end journey and the minimal level product. The business scenarios must include both kinds of paths throughout the process, the happy paths and the main alternate paths. Be careful not to include scenarios that are beyond the scope of the minimal level product. But yet at the same time, shouldn't you be aware of other potential scenarios? Um, because if you encounter a scenario that um, um, causes a stop in the case type even moving forward, then how are you going to handle it? You know, like for example, if your middle level product is only designed for the United States and you suddenly go international, how are you going to handle address or telephone number? That kind of thing, right? So you got to be a little careful about that. Right. So DCO sessions. Once the foundation case types are agreed on with business stakeholders, schedule additional DCO directly capture objective sessions to create the backlog and start elaborating on prioritized stories in preparation for your first sprint. Your final deliverable is the user story elaboration plan. The elaboration plan schedules the directly capture objective sessions for refinement of the case type in scope. The primary source of inputs for the initial directly capture objective sessions are those created during the discovery phase. However, a design sprint might be scheduled to run during the prepare phase. In that case, outputs from the design sprint serve as inputs for your directly capture objective sessions during prepare. I mean, that may happen, okay? Whenever you're working on a product and you have um, and you get to a part in your, working on the product, and you notice that there's something that they need to change or they need to update to include, like, additional fields and additional integrations, um, you know, whatever, then, you know, um, you know, in terms of, agile, um, uh, in terms of agile building, you don't necessarily want to go all the way back to the discovery phase and try to redo everything all over again. Okay, that's the waterfall method, and that doesn't necessarily work, completely. You know, um, I mean, it doesn't. The way I've typically described um, agile is basically you take the waterfall method and you break it into sub goals. Okay, each little sub goal or user story is basically a waterfall. You discover it, you prepare for it, you build it, and then you um, you know adopt it, or test it out, or so on and so forth, right? So same kind of process. So um, so directly capture objectives during build. Directly capture objectives continues to be essential during the build phase of your project. Team members continue to collaborate, iterate, and validate during regular and sprint playbacks with the business team. Sessions during the build phase showed business team members very early results of your configuration. They give the business a chance to share feedback and provide guidance to the development team to validate the delivery. Your sessions can be short and ad hoc. Initiate the sessions as soon as the development team is ready to share any results. Directly capture objectives is also used to constantly evolve the details of the case type, data model, and business rules within the microjourney to maintain a healthy backlog of prioritized user stories. The sessions are scheduled by following the elaboration plan. They may take many forms depending on the focus of the session. Some sessions are used to clarify and extend the steps within the case type. Others may be scheduled to refine the user experience. Directly capture objective sessions may take many ideation, ideation workshops focused on the user interface design, screen flow, and other aspects of design thinking. The primary output for your directly capture objective sessions during build is the refined user stories that meet the definition of ready. The stories may have additional documents attached to support the user story's informational needs, including artifacts such as user interface and UX mockups, business logic maps, business rules, security matrices, and documents, and more. As as the sprints progress, your team realizes application updates for testing. The discipline of directly capture objectives supports an issue triage process to discuss, prioritize, and add issues to the backlog per their contribution to the outcomes defined for the minimal lovable product. Running short, frequent sessions help to ensure feedback, iteration, and validation throughout the build phase. Keep your team focused and moving forward. All right. Directly capture objectives in App Studio. Pega platform offers a vast array of studios and visualization tools to help your team get the most out of your directly capture objective sessions. Pega platform speeds up delivery by generating a shared repository of what to develop and reduces the need to spend hours uploading documentation after a session. Hold on a second, I need to get some drink here. Getting a little getting a little thirsty, and that typically represents that you're already dehydrated. So make sure to hydrate everybody. Okay. Pega platform speeds up delivery by generating a shared repository of what to develop and reduces the need to spend hours uploading documentation after a session. Hmm. I hope that's true, but I'm not quite sure. Um, I'm not 100% sure, what it does to handle documentation, you know. Um, because again, documentation explaining why you went about doing, adding notes to the build process, you know, could help out, another team weeks, months, years from now that might be looking back on said development. Okay. Um, so, so, don't be afraid to put down documentation, but, again, I don't know um, what exactly it offers per se. Um, or at least, and the challenges they haven't really focused on helping out with the documentation, which I feel is um, is a missed opportunity. So, because let's face it, documentation is very helpful in development there, folks. You know, um, there are times when I look back at, some of the code that, I've seen others build or that, I've built and I might have gone, why did I do that? you know, or why did they do that? Whatever. So, in the following image, click the plus icons to learn how Pega tools such as App Studio align with directly capture objectives to capture objectives into Pega platform quickly. Data designer and integration something or other. Data designer and integration designer can show what data is present or consumed by the application, which ensures the right information is used by the system to complete a process. Agile Workbench can integrate directly with their Agile project management tool. This integration allows you to show user stories live, updating them in real time, and document bugs and/or feedback for the Scrum team to address. Um, to be honest, I don't think my team in my last job really used the Agile Workbench at all. Now, it could be the fact that they might not have known about it, or it might have, they didn't really want to, um, I mean, there was already we were already kind of dealing with Jira. So, maybe they thought that, they didn't want to necessarily double up work by having, Jira and the Agile Workbench together. I don't know. But one would figure that, an agile workbench built into the App Studio would be used quite a bit. But yeah. Pega rule forms. Pega rule forms displays business rules used. Um, display business rules used to execute your process. That sentence is a little off there, which ensures the correct business logic is executed. End user portals play back the process or quick changes in real time. And Case Designer visualizes the process to develop a shared understanding of what will happen in a process. Still got a ways to go. Okay. Directly capture objectives participants. The core directly capture objectives team must be small with representation from the business, including the decision maker, product owner, business architect, system architect, tester, and UX designer. Notice these stakeholders come from a variety of disciplines, business to technology. For some projects, the product owner may need additional support from business specialists. You can also add subject matter experts, SMEs, to your core team. In an ideal world, all team members can attend every session, but this may not be feasible. Some topics may not require a system architect. Others may not require a UX designer. Others may require support from specific SMEs or subject matter experts. DCO participants are not limited to the core team. You may need an ad hoc group of stakeholders from business to technical teams to support application design. Directly capture objective sessions focused on security, for example, may call upon IT security specialists to provide input. Similarly, as part of the user experience design, you may want to invite a small group of end users to playback review to validate the design. At the end of the sprint, stakeholders from the business readiness and training team may attend the show and tell demonstrations, providing feedback to the project team while building their own skills in preparation for the adopt phase. To maximize participation, get agreement from the product owner on the directly capture objectives schedule and ensure that priority attendees have sufficient notice to ensure that they can attend relevant sessions. In the following image, click the plus icons to learn about each of these project team roles. I mean, we've already kind of gone over this before, so well, let's see what they say. The product owner provides the vision, direction, and scope for the application. There should be only one product owner. That person is responsible for ensuring the business is appropriately represented at directly capture objective sessions and equipped to provide high quality input. During directly capture objective sessions, the product owner is responsible for ensuring business requirements align with the agreed minimal level of product and are focused on achieving the business value expected. Where the product owner is not a business specialist, they can be supported by specific end users or subject matter experts. The product owner is responsible for ensuring the correct subject matter experts attend the sessions after a briefing on the minimal level product scope and expected business value so that they are prepared to contribute. Business Architect helps educate the core team on out-of-the-box Pega components available to address the business requirements. The business architect generates and updates user stories, ensuring the backlog has the latest details. Business Architect leads the directly capture objective session by working with the business, system architect, and UX designer to ensure the application is developed according to the business outcomes for the minimal level product. The business architect may take on the role of the session moderator. This case is where the business architect is responsible for leading the directly capture objectives session to keep the session focused on the objectives and track any actions that arise from the meeting. Oh boy. Subject matter experts. Subject matter experts, SMEs, support the product owner with detailed know-how and business requirements for specific areas of the business and the application. SMEs may attend all or some of the DCO sessions, or directly capture objective sessions, depending on the topics under consideration. So, say you need to have a application that handles taxes for one particular state or something like that, right? So you may need a subject matter expert, or like a tax expert for that particular state to come on in and talk about, how do you handle, the process of dealing with the taxes for that particular state, for example, right? So that's what, you know, that's what that's all about. Okay. They might not necessarily be, um, they might not be a programmer or anything along those lines. Okay. They might be someone that has knowledge in other fields. Okay. They don't necessarily need to know how to program. They just need to be an expert in other things. Construction, police reporting, um, doctors, nurses, whatever, you know. It depends on, the business that you're in for the subject matter expert. Okay. So they don't necessarily need to fall into the product owner or business architect or the system architect. Okay. So they can be their own, field of knowledge, elementary school teacher, you know, or just teacher in general, you know. So, so just kind of bear that in mind. Um, a user experience designer or UX designer, it that's user experience does not mean user UI. Okay, bear that in mind. Okay, user experience is only for UX. Okay, because UI stands for user interface. Remember that. Okay, so a user experience UX designer guides a superior user experience, and in some cases, provides wireframes to support application development. You know, so um, you know, could you consider a UX and UI designer kind of the same job? I don't know. That would be kind of difficult for me to say because um, maybe the UX designer is more focused on um, like controls of a system, whereas a user interface may focus on the interface, the visual of it. Okay, so um, like for example, um, if your web page has like a video that plays for everybody, and let's say the user is deaf, right? They can't necessarily hear what the video is saying. So while the UI might, you know, design the web page in the sense of like he might show the video itself, the user experience might be like, okay, well, we need to either do captions for said video, or maybe we need to put like a full-on transcript of said video, whatever, that kind of thing. So maybe that's part of it. Okay, testers. Testers ensure the test team is prepared for the multiple kinds of testing used to validate the application. Um, Testers are part of the test team. What are you talking about? um, Testers are individuals that are, you know, preparing the multiple kinds of testing used to validate the application. You know, if you yeah, you might say lead testers ensure the test team is prepared for the multiple kinds of testing used to validate the application, maybe, but testers in general, probably not. System architects. The system architect provides expertise on what is possible using Pega out-of-the-box approaches to ensure business requirements are delivered efficiently. All right. Extended team. The extended directly um, directly capture objectives. I almost said directly combine objectives. No, it's directly capture objectives. The extended directly capture objectives team includes stakeholders with the specialist knowledge needed for the application to successfully integrate into the organization's existing technical and business architecture. These specialists are called upon by the core team when required. Scrum Master and project delivery managers ensure that the Scrum team and project run smoothly. While not directly involved in detailed discussions with the core team, okay, the Scrum Master provides an escalation path to resolve issues and coordinate with external stakeholders. Wait, I thought the Scrum Master would probably be more in line with inside the DCO team indirectly. I don't know. Because, I mean, the system architects are designing everything. You would think that they would be, in a sense, kind of related to like the business architect in that, they're trying to make sure that the user stories are like on time. So shouldn't that kind of fall into the same kind of category? You know, um, because I mean, what else is the Scrum Master going to be doing? They don't have any like additional requirements beyond that. So, you know, if they're like sitting around twiddling their thumbs waiting for the system architects to kind of complete everything or something like that. It's like, what else would they be doing? So that's why I'm thinking that a Scrum Master would probably fit perfectly with the business architect. Now, I may be completely wrong on this. Okay, so just bear that in mind. I don't know. Okay, but it would seem to me like the business architect would be typically considered a Scrum Master. You know, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, please. Um, explain to me what really the main difference is between like a business architect and you know I mean or you still have like lead system architects and senior system architects as well. Okay, They could also be kind of thrown into as the Scrum Master as well. But again, business architect is kind of in charge of handling user stories, so you would think that they would be more inclined with being a Scrum Master. Again, I don't know. Um, I'm gonna say Scrum Master outside of the circle. Okay, sure, I guess. But again, I don't know I don't know what's going on here. Product delivery lead, project delivery lead. I mean, what? Shouldn't that be more product owner? Again, I don't know. We move on. Directly capture objectives in action. Ensure that you are prepared to maximize your directly capture objective sessions. Simple steps such as inviting attendees well in advance, including an agenda, and gathering directly capture objectives artifacts improves your session outcomes. The objectives of each session must be clear so that participants can prepare in advance. To help uh, to help the business representative prepare for the session, provide them and their subject matter experts with as much information about the directly capture objectives topic as possible. For example, a list of user stories and outstanding questions is a good start. Doing so allows the business team to perform any investigations related to the subject before the sessions. Also create and collate presentations, sketches, flip charts, or run activities in advance to help guide sessions. When using App Studio to drive the directly capture objectives session, make sure that you've completed your preparation ahead of the session, including run the process, familiarize yourself with the end user experience to understand what needs to be developed further, and playback. In some situations, consider making a temporary change to playback to the directly capture objectives session attendees. Um, You may be tempted to schedule large directly capture objective sessions that block huge portions of the day. It is better to run shorter reoccurring sessions so that participants can focus. Best practices show that short, focused sessions encourage participation and are more sustainable as it's difficult for team members to attend or remain focused during full day events. So, it might be easier to create, 1 hour sessions, for example, instead of the 8 hour like full session, you know. Um, create, 1 hour session for this user story on one day. Then on the next day, you create a user story, create a session on the next day for a different user story, for an hour on, to handle that, that kind of thing. So. um, the directly capture objectives session. As with all good meetings, your directly capture objectives session starts with an agenda, confirms your meeting objectives, and ensures attendees understand the problem and context. The business architect leads the session with the support of the product owner and subject matter experts. Together, they use appropriate visual tools to discuss topics, including, for example, user stories, processes, and business requirements. The core team works together with the system architect and the user experience designer to confirm that the design is technically feasible, making use of any out-of-the-box features. The team also confirms that the design is human-centric. Testers contribute to the conversation to ensure all outputs are testable. Yeah, make sure that you have that, okay? Because if you're getting to the to the end of the project and you have output that is just um, that might have like random values no matter what you do, then it might be harder for the testers to confirm that the what is being given at the end is viable. Okay, like if you have something happening to your number, for example, like it's like, hey, we have this random number that is needs to be generated, and like multiply it into the price or something like that, then how is the tester supposed to know whether or not the randomization is correct? You know, or how are they able to confirm that the value at the end is indeed the correct value? You know, so so it might be a little bit harder to work that in. So be prepared if you're a part of the tester team to check that out or discuss that. You can leverage a Pega platform to document the results of your discussions quickly. For some directly capture objective sessions, you can directly capture the requirements into Pega platform during the session. Doing so helps playback requirements within the session, removes misinterpretation, and can identify gaps or missed requirements. I hope they show that in some way later, but it's the fact that we're not seeing it here is kind of unfortunate, but oh well, we move on. For other sessions, it may be faster to whiteboard the conversation during the session and arrange a follow-up directly capture objectives event to show users a demo of the solution. It is easier for users to provide feedback on the application when they can see it, rather than reading about it in a text document. True. Keep a note of all discussion points to be resolved during your session, along with outstanding actions needed. Also document follow-up activities and any supporting artifacts required. I need to use the restroom here soon. So short ending here. After the directly captured objective session, it is best practice to apply all decisions and updates to the directly captured objectives artifacts, such as user stories, during the session either directly into Agile Workbench or App Studio. For those sessions where artifacts need to be finalized after the DCO session's conclusion, for example, process diagrams and wireframes, update the artifacts and add them as soon as possible to the relevant user story. Then send a communication to team members to let them know the artifact has been added. There are follow-up activities, outstanding questions answered, or new investigations initiated. Log and monitor all follow-up actions between DCO sessions to keep participants informed across the directly captured objective schedule. Communicate any changes to the elaboration schedule and update the backlog with the latest versions of user stories. DCO brings team members from a variety of disciplines to work together. True. And that's it. All right, so we're going to end that here. I need to use the restroom, so I shall return in just a little bit, but we are going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall be right back. Coming back in, and there we go. Hey there, Blackheart. How you doing there, bud? I'm doing pretty good myself, all things considered. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started on um, working on uploading videos to my playlist, to video, to um, keep on uh, getting videos out there for everybody to kind of watch, so they don't have to watch, these extended live versions. Even though technically they're all these live versions are like available for people to watch now on YouTube, seeing that I'm doing these streams on YouTube. They've been kind of saving these live versions. Perfectly fine with me. I don't really uh, you know I don't really change much right at this moment in time, but obviously I try to break up some of the videos into like uh, smaller VODs, I guess you might say. So, um, but let me get some things kind of scheduled out here because I have some videos to edit and make available, you know. So, oh, Blackheart. Um, so I'm trying to concerning Warframe. I'm currently in talks with two people that I know, Crazy and Jedi, in terms of maybe trying to get like some kind of like troubleshooting session going. But right now, well, actually, I need to confirm. Are you there? Let me know if you're there or not. So, are you hearing me? Do-do-do-do. Okay. Catching up a little bit on our backlog of videos here, so that's good. Um, I don't really like the fact that my kilobytes per second is dropping a lot. Mm, Hopefully that doesn't continue, but I'm a little worried about it. Almost makes me think that maybe I should stop the stream and start it back up, in hopes that maybe I'll get a better connection. But I don't know. I keep on getting some severe drops right at this moment in time. That worries me some. YouTube or YouTube streaming. Um, Let's see. Let's see. Hmm. Hmm. That's weird. Not sure what's going on here. Hopefully y'all can still kind of see me perfectly fine, but my KBS is fluctuating quite a bit right at this moment in time, and that's kind of worrisome. Let's see. You see me? Well, that's good, man. I'm just a little worried about it right at this moment in time because it's the fluctuation is like is it's quite it's changing up, a lot. It's getting as low as like 2200 to as high as like 4000, and it's like, whoa, what is going on here? Normally it stays fairly consistent. So the fact that um I'm getting a lot of changes and fluctuations is it's a little worrisome. There, it's Frog Song. Okay, make things a little funny in the title. Although that image doesn't really help. The thumbnail doesn't really help. Oh. Okay, so are you there, Blackheart? Are you kind of listening in? Because I wanna chat with you a little bit about this weekend concerning Warframe. Okay, we're scheduled for the 29th on that one. So we want September 5th on this. There we go. Okay, what's this one all about? Just finished scheduling today's stream. Gotcha. Okay, looks like we have. Ooh. This one in particular, I don't know if I want to make this as a Patreon exclusive because this one was the one that is for the cathedral mission. Hmm. Okay, so concerning Warframe, we discussed the possibility of doing a troubleshooting session, and one of the um, I was kind of wondering if what should we kind of do to kind of set that up, kind of build that. Um, the um, Right now, I talked with I talked with Jedi and Crazy, and it seems that they're supportive, but the time frame that they can join me right at this moment in time is a little um you know it's not lining up with each other for this weekend. Um, so, for example, this weekend, Jedi's busy Friday and Saturday night, but he might be free on Sunday. But Crazy, he's free Saturday, but he's completely busy on Sunday. So, um, however, um, not this weekend, but the weekend after, um, we have, um, Crazy is completely clear. Like, he has Sundays free, so, um, yeah, hmm. Yeah, I think I want to make this video public because I had a very, not only did was I kind of dealing with um, the Victor mission, but I also encountered a really nasty bug at the very end there. Yeah, so let's not do Patreon on this. Let's see. Um, Commissions. From Cathedral and the killer bug. Recording date was on the 1st. So I'm just kind of curious as to what you would like to do in terms of Warframe, Um, you know, um, would you like to try to, to continue for this weekend in the troubleshooting part of the game, or would you prefer to uh, wait for the weekend after so that we can have like everybody together or all at once on like a Sunday, and we can um, try to work from there. Um, so instead of say that um, this weekend, which is the 19th or 20th, we basically wait for say the 27th and do our troubleshooting session then. Which would you prefer? If we do this weekend, then we're probably gonna either, you know, if we do Saturday, we're gonna lose out Jedi, but obviously you and Crazy will be able to join. Or we could do Sunday, but that might not necessarily guarantee that you're gonna be there, and definitely won't guarantee Crazy will be there. So, or like I said, we can wait until the weekend after, on a Sunday, the 27th. You know, if you're willing, we could try to do a, Warframe session, troubleshooting, and, just try to, maximize all the, potential bugs that we can find. So, um, so what would you be kind of preferred? What would you prefer? If you had a choice between those. You can wait. So you're kind of aiming more for the 27th, or you're thinking more for the 27th? That way we can guarantee, and we can try to guarantee both Jedi and Crazy join in with our session. Like and we'll have a four-man team with us pretty much all the time, and we can try to figure out like, what. I mean, they're smart men, so they may be able to kind of figure out, other ways of trying to break the game. So, so, 27th might be kind of like the best choice, if we want to include that four-man team. So, 27th sounds good. Okay. Okay. I wanted to get your take on it. I'll contact Jedi and I'll contact Crazy and let them know that hey, this weekend isn't turning out to be that great, so I'll see if they would be happy with joining up on a Sunday, and we can try to make a um, full-on gaming session, stream session of it all. You know, record video, record images, what have you on it, um, because I'm kind of worried that the um, what we're seeing right at this moment in time isn't exactly great. You broke Railjack yesterday, got two Wuklongs at the same time. Oof. And I got ejected back to the Railjack when auto reviving. Oof. Yeah, from what I understand, Jedi mentioned the fact that the Railjack sessions was already kind of glitched out. But here's the thing. If we can get like video and pictures and all that kind of jazz for, what we're experiencing in game and post it onto their bug forums, then, we're giving them, um, we're giving them sections of what we're dealing with, problems that we're kind of having a problem with during all that to the point where we can get, um, um, we can try to figure out like, um, help the devs try to figure out, what the best solution to fixing the problem is. So, okay, these images suck. What the fuck? What are you doing, the game? Or what are you doing, YouTube? These images and these thumbnails aren't great. Let's see if I can get a better thumbnail. Okay. Let's see. Go. Okay. The fact that I have that up there. Okay. Let's see. Born and feather. Okay. Let's see. Thumbnail. There we go there. Show more. Recording date was on the 2nd. Okay, let's see. This one is scheduled for the 30th. So this one will be scheduled for the 6th. There we go. Okay. Let's see, what did we do for Genshin Impact on that day? Oh, right. Hmm. Learning TCG. It's better thumbnail. Let's see, recording date will be the 3rd. Alright, there we go. And schedule it for the 7th. Sounds good. See you in a bit. Okay. Okay. All aboard the train, huh? Uh, First train ride to C sample. Okay, that should do. Let's see. Now we have September 1st, which will be the 8th. There we go. Schedule that. Okay. We have a potential Pega situation. Let me see what exactly it's going to be talking about here. Okay, this is the okay. Exercise discussion. Mission test. It's on the 5th. Okay. Everything is good. Let's see. What was the last Pega release? It was on the 12th. Okay, so we're gonna want to release this tomorrow at 11 a.m. Warframe's not going to go anywhere, so we're not going to do anything there. Further test discussions. Don't need to exercise anymore. This was on the 6th. Okay. Okay, so it's looking like we are pretty good here overall. Oh boy. I'm hoping that I'm still streaming right at this moment in time. It's looking like my session is being very chaotic right now, so I hope everybody's still there. Okay. Okay. Well, we got a couple more minutes left before um, we have Genshin Impact. I think it's time for me to just kind of switch on over to that. So, um, um, so yeah, let me kind of get everything kind of set up on that end. Um, so, um, so we'll see what we can do. So I'm gonna close down everything here. Don't really need all that. I'll hold off on closing that down yet. For now, let me go ahead and launch. Wait, what's this? I saw something that was interesting. Genshin Impact Creator Program. Okay, that's interesting. Actually, hold on. I wonder what that is all about. Fontaine Hat Show. Checking for 7 days to obtain Promo Gems 60 from August 16th through the 25th. Not bad. Um, Discord Nitro, whatever that it's all about. Fontaine Exploration Tips. Yeah, we'll hold off on that. Event Preview Phase 1. Sign up now for a chance to win up to... Let's see. Oh boy. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so according to this, there's a sign up now for a um, chance to win up to $11,000. So, and that's a good chunk of money there, folks. I'm not gonna say no for that. So I'm kind of curious as to what is going on here. Watch to get Twitch drops. So watch the live streams with Twitch drops enabled for a certain amount of time to obtain the following rewards. So, if you watch 15 minutes, you get some more. 30 minutes, you get some item sanctifying whatever that is. Mystic Enhancement for 60 minutes. Hero's Wit times 3 for 90 minutes, and 30 Primo Gems for 120 minutes. Okay. Actually, hold on. Let me hold off on this for the actual Genshin Impact session because I wanna kind of record this a little bit. So, although I can't necessarily put the main screen on, but I still want to kind of cover the details of it. So I'm going to switch on over to the Genshin Impact. Um, oh boy. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and close down this stream because it keeps on disconnecting me right at this moment in time. I don't know whether or not it's my own internet or if it's just a bad connection with YouTube. I'm not sure what's going on here. But it keeps on dropping me right at this moment in time. That's not ideal. So I'm going to stop the stream here in just a little bit. I'll be right back with the proper scene collection. Um, so don't worry, I shall return. Just be patient. I'll be right back, and we'll get started on some Genshin Impact. Okay?